Welcome to another episode of the Investor Lounge with CapFund. I'm your host, Alex Bogomel. Today we are giving you another in our series of Wholesaler Spotlights, where we're going to give our listeners, our borrowers, an introduction to one of the many local wholesalers that I work with. We do a lot of transactions together. The Wholesaler Spotlight is a series that we're providing. It's an opportunity to help our capital funding borrowers find more quality deals for themselves and make more money on those deals as well. We'll be discussing this wholesaler's background, experience, and expertise, and what he brings to the table that most other wholesalers don't. Join me today in welcoming Ivan Castro. He's a seasoned wholesaler with 17 years real estate experience in the Central Florida market. Good afternoon, Ivan. How are you?
Good afternoon, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Always a good place to start, I think, for our borrowers is, tell us about yourself. What's your background? How did you get into real estate? How did you get into wholesaling?
Yeah. So my background is actually in IT, computer science. I went to school to be a programmer and moved into IT management. I did that for several years. And then I started doing real estate back in 2007. My wife, Ivan Castro, has been doing this real estate business for 26 years about. We used to live in New Jersey. So we were licensed over there. We also were licensed in Pennsylvania as well. And I started doing that in 2007 in my particular case. And I started flipping homes in 2009. I've probably done over 100 flips. And I do rentals as well, and I've been doing wholesale since 2014. So it's been 10 years in wholesaling.
Wow. Okay, cool. 100 flips. Full disclosure, Ivan is actually a capital funding's borrower. We've done fix and flip loans for him, and we've also done some refinances, I believe, as well into the DSCR product. So, we know him from that way as well, too. So I know you've got a long past because I've been getting your emails from multiple different companies for a long, long time, maybe longer than anyone else I know that's still in the game. And I started around the same time too in Central Florida, 2007. So we've got that in common and probably share a lot of similar stories and experiences from wholesaling. But, tell us about where you're at now. Who are you working with now?
Yeah, right now I've been with Spectral Property Group for the last 2 years, about 2 3 years. We're actually located here right in Orlando. We actually have an actual office there now.
Yeah.
I've been working there. I've been in the OffMarket department. I'm actually the head of the OffMarket department and the person in charge of finding deals, coming up with strategies on how to get these off-market properties that everyone is looking for. But I also do sales as well. In our office, we have about 6 acquisition agents that do regular MLS deals. So we also do that as well. But I'm primarily targeting off-market properties for right now.
So how many people are in this Spectrum office? I've been to your office. It's really cool. It's right downtown, just north of Orange Avenue. And I know your owner on a personal level too. And I know he bought that building recently. So, it's kind of cool. You guys are now a mainstay here in downtown Orlando. So how many people are working in that office? It was busy when I was there.
We probably have about 20 people. Including admin and everything else. Sales agents, I will probably say, is about 15 people that actually work in the sales department or disposition, as people call it in this business. And we also have about 6 people doing the acquisition, for MLS and off markets and all that. So the company's been growing. Alan, as you know, is a great guy, very smart, very humble. And he just loves to work with people, and he's giving me the tools that I need to work, especially in the off-market properties that are hard to get, as you probably know.
Yeah, I know. The wholesaling business, sometimes you come across people that are really tough and they want to win every deal. And it's not always pleasant to work with that type of person. And they seem to be prevalent in the wholesaling industry. So Alam's a great guy. He's kind of like, hey, let's all win and keep going. Kind of the same approach that I feel like I had when I was wholesaling as well, too. So I really enjoy working with him. And he is extremely intelligent and runs a good business, and you can see because not all the wholesaling businesses stay around forever, and he's been around for a while now. So, all right. So you're running the off-market acquisitions. Is that like a big thing right now? Where I know it's like a roller coaster. Some years it's on off-market only, some years it's MLS only, and then some year there's a blend. So where do you think we're at right now? Is it a good blend of off-market and on-market deals?
I would say so. I think off-markets, Alex, as you probably know, as we all know, actually, is like the holy grail of wholesaling, right? Those are the properties that most people want, especially because of the fact that there is no pictures on the MLS. There's nothing out there that refers back to these properties. So you can, in fact, buy a property that is in really good condition. You do a few things there, maybe a little painting and some upgrades, and then the property is back on the market, and usually it's sold like right away. But it's definitely a mix right now. Of course, the off-market business is not easy. You invest a lot of money into it, and you have to do a lot of follow-ups. Remember, there is no realtor involved per se in the deal. So dealing with sellers and the whole process and everything else is a very complicated business. When you do MLS deals, usually there's a realtor involved, and you can actually work with them, and they know what they're doing, and they know about escrows and deposits and timelines and things like that. When you work directly with the with the seller, everything is more complicated. They usually don't know anything about real estate. You have to basically walk them through it and all that. But I'm glad that, we have this vision of looking after the off-market business, and it's working out for us. And I think, in my opinion, I receive deals from everybody every day. We're probably one of the few ones that are actually doing off markets and are being successful doing so. So I think that is key. And by the way, the off market deals that we bring to our clients usually sell sight unseen within an hour of us posting these deals out there. So that tells you how good of deals we're actually getting to our clients. Yeah.
I think sometimes with borrowers, especially maybe the more seasoned borrowers, if you're just presenting MLS deals to them, they're kind of like, what value are you really adding? Like you're kind of just getting in my way. But somebody that goes out there and finds off-market stuff and consistently presents good deals that are off-market, it's like, all right, this guy's a really valuable resource to me, or woman. And you want that on your team, somebody that's going to bring you something that no one else is. Yeah, you bring me just MLS deals. I'm like, man, I made an offer on that, and now you got it, and I got to pay your fee. And it's maybe like a little bitterness involved with that sometimes. But the off-market stuff just clearly says, hey, these guys are working for their deals. They're working for their inventory, and they're presenting it to me. So that's, like, I don't want to call it a privilege, but it's an honor, like, hey, you're getting all these deals presented to you. Yeah, so cool. So you're running that over there. So you're probably a pretty valuable person then, if somebody's looking to find a good deal, they may want to save your contact information, huh?
Definitely. We'll give that at the end, I guess, so people, some of the investors that will watch this program will see, oh, okay, And by the way, Alex, we're not just doing Orlando right now as far as off market. We're investing in Orange County, Seminole County, Volusia County, Lake, Polk, Hillsborough. We're going basically all Central Florida. So we're targeting a lot of areas.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to get into next. Like, what areas are you covering? Us as lenders, we're covering primarily the counties that you just stated, and we're trying to get a little bit more into Hillsborough as we grow our fund. We're going to get a little bit more into Hillsborough, but we do get Tampa deals here and there. I think I've got one or two in the pipeline right now. So you're now marketing off-market deals and doing MLS deals, kind of from like Tampa, West Coast, all the way over to Brevard and Volusia on the East Coast, right?
That is correct. I didn't mention those, but definitely Brevard is another area that we're doing that I forgot to mention. In fact, that's been a good area for us right now.
Yeah.
We've been acquiring a lot of deals in that area as of the last 6 months. It's one of the areas that we've been targeting it. We've been doing really well on.
Yeah. Well, cool. How far up north do you go and how far south do you go? Are you presenting deals in Ocala?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, we've been, as far as the off market, we've been mainly those areas that I mentioned to you. But as far as MLS, we go all the way to Gainesville.
Okay.
Which is, as you know, is probably very far up there.
Yeah.
All the way to Tampa, and then down south, I would say Brevard County, all that area. We cover all that as far as MLS as well. Like we target all of those areas, and we're actually getting deals. We just sold a deal last week in Gainesville. That's a new area for us that we've been exploring.
Yeah,
and in acquiring and selling properties as out there as well. So, we're targeting big areas, but we also, in the future, we're looking to expand as well. As I mentioned to you before, we definitely want to go all in into Tampa and other areas in Tampa. We also want to go to Jacksonville, and eventually we want to do Miami as well.
Okay, so right now, 20 people, Orlando office, you're covering all this area, and you're thinking about possibly opening up some bricks and mortars in the Tampa area.
Correct.
That could be your next step. Okay, cool. I mean, the Tampa market is huge. It's actually bigger than the Orlando market, and just it's like neck and neck. And any poll or any statistical analysis you see, it's very, very similar to the Orlando market, except it's probably a little bit stronger. So, we feel comfortable lending over there as well, too. Even though the prices have gone up even a little higher than they've gone up in Orlando, we still feel really comfortable with that. So what do you think about the market right now? I know we're in, for everybody, it's August 2024. The inventories have gone up in our Central Florida market. We've kind of stabilized as far as median prices. We've stabilized for the most part as far as days on market. For us as a lender, we're seeing a healthy market. It's not like crazy like it was a few years ago, but it's still extremely healthy. What are you seeing? What is Spectrum seeing? What are your thoughts on the market?
I think we're seeing the same thing. August was slow, though I can't deny that. And a lot of the things that I was getting from my buyers was the interest rates were kind of on the high side. And then a lot of people would worry about the elections and all that. But I think the fact that the interest rates went down, I think you know more about this than me, so you can probably give us a better idea. But I think they almost went down like half a point or something like that, Alex.
Yeah, we're like 6.4-ish right now, and we were over 7 for a little, actually. So yeah, they're definitely coming down.
Definitely coming down, and I have seen that in people calling me and reaching out to me for properties that are coming out where end of July people were kind of shy and they didn't know what they were going to do, and now I see that people are calling, they're looking at our properties. I'm showing more properties right now. We're selling properties right now, and it seems like the activity is just getting better.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It's crazy. Yeah, 1 week you can be like, man, I don't like this market. Like you start thinking bad things, and then the next week you're like, yeah, everything is great. Like I've literally had some of my best borrowers who I consistently reach out to on a weekly basis, asking them their views on the market. And they're like, this market's slowing down. And then like I cleared everything out. I had 6 houses, they're all pending. It's great. Give me some more deals, So that's kind of one of the reasons why we're trying to put together these wholesaler spotlights to really let our borrowers know, hey, these are people that we work with. We've done a lot of transactions with them, and we think that they're providing, good opportunities for them as well.
Yeah. But Alex, I think it's good to know though for investors. I know investors are the ones that will be looking at this podcast. Is the fact that the trend is changing now, and I see as interest rates continue to go down, more buyers are going to be on the market. The inventory is going to go down. We know it went up a little bit, but I think we are at the right time to get into the market though. I think if you wait too long, if you wait until like the elections and all that, you're going to see prices start crippling back up, and you're going to see more people getting into the business. So I think, in my opinion, I think the timing
is right
for you to like get good opportunities before prices start going back up and everybody's back into the real estate market. I think people are missing great opportunities right now. And I think if interest rates continue to go low, we're going to see prices start going up again. And next year could actually be one of our best years.
Yeah, I know. I think we're working on a DSCR loan together. And I think, a few weeks ago, that interest rate was 8.25%, and now it's down to 7.25%. Which is substantial, and if it could get down to 6.25%, you're just having a ton of people that are sitting on the sidelines waiting to jump back in. So, I'm definitely of the shared belief that, a little bit more movement in interest rates, and it could just create an avalanche of buyers coming back into the market.
That is, in my opinion, that's exactly what's going to happen. But we'll see, we have to see. But definitely, I think this is the time to jump in. Get good deals that are out there that people are not looking at right now. And eventually 2-3 months down the line, you can actually capitalize on those deals and maybe make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me walk our borrowers or any investor that's watching through how they would do a transaction with Spectrum. A lot of wholesalers do it differently. You told me before we got on the call that you're in charge of like the email, maybe the relationship management program over there at Spectrum. So, are you guys primarily like a website based? Like if I called you up and said, Ivan, I loved your podcast, you speak Spanish, I want to work with you. How do I go about now that we've made a contact, finding deals that are Spectrum deals? And on top of that, like, you already said these deals are hot and they're going in an hour. So how am I notified? How do I, if I want to get in on Spectrum deals, how do I get in on that?
Well, in my case, we do have a website, and people do go to that website, and I'll send it to you towards the end. You can actually, and by the way, unlike other companies, our website is really up to date. Once a property is sold, like within an hour or so, it gets removed to pending. So the active ones in there are the ones that are really active. That's good to know.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't go into websites. So we have an automated system that every time a property comes into the market, I think right now we have about 40,000 investors in our database.
Wow.
And every time a property comes out, an email is automatically sent to all our buyers. And so in order for you to get those emails, just sign up with me, send me a text. I'm going to leave all my information at the end. And that way you can get that email as soon as a property comes out. There's no preferences here, Alex. We send this to everybody. We don't have a VIP list or anything like that, right? Now, what I do as a salesperson, though, which I think some people do and some people don't, I use an application that you're probably familiar with that is called WhatsApp, that allows me to broadcast information to my clients. And I have different lists for different people. And as soon as that property comes out, I make sure they get that property in their phone so they can actually see it right away. And they're actually, by the way, in this broadcast list that is done in WhatsApp, you don't see anybody else in that list. So you see the text,
so it's private, you and the bar. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you reply to that, reply just to me, nobody else is seeing what you're saying or anything like that. So I think it's very good. And I do sales, a lot of sales like that, people that are in my WhatsApp group. And then also if I have hot clients, which I do, I have a list of hot clients that they need a property right away. Those hot clients that come to me and say, Ivan, I need a property in the next 10 days. I do call them and I do text them, regular text.
Yeah.
Hey, so-and-so, we have this property right now. It just came out, take a look at it. And that's the way I do it as a salesperson as well.
Yeah, I always tell borrowers, if you want a deal from a wholesaler, you got to be a pain in their butt. You got to call them every day and be like, man, this guy's got to go away. He keeps calling me like at, morning, lunch, and dinner. Like the easiest way to resolve that is to find him a deal, so.
Alex, and by the way, that might sound like a pain in the butt, but to me, I love clients like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That means they're really looking for a property. They're not just trying to see what we're doing or something like that. These guys are really looking. And I don't mind at all people texting me or calling me and saying, hey, do you have anything? Because I know they're interested. And like I mentioned to you in the beginning, a lot of these properties will sell sight unseen within an hour. So if it takes you 2-3 days to see a property, you most likely won't be able to get any
to get a real good deal. Now, okay, so if it's sight unseen, I'm usually not in favor of that, but there are ways to kind of mitigate your risk. And to me, that's kind of through like a really thorough analysis of the property. So like, if you send out a deal, Alex, that there's a great deal, I get it through my WhatsApp, I get it through my email. On your write-up, the Spectrum write-up, is there going to be like 100 pictures? Are there ever any like, hey, these are the pros, these are the cons? I'm okay with buying sight unseen as long as, one, that wholesaler's proven to me like what they say is what actually is, and they're kind of transparent, like if I walk in and they told me it's a $20,000 rehab and then I see, settlement on the front of the house that's like massive, I'm like, man, they could have told me that, but so is this like, what does a normal presentation of a property look like? Is it a lot of pictures? Is it a thorough write-up? Yeah,
we do have as many pictures as we can take. You see them there, at least a picture of every room. We also are using something called Cutie Casa. I don't know if you've used that, but it's an application that allows you to do a layout of the property, which sometimes is good to have. We've never, at least even when I was at another company that I was working before, we never saw any properties with like structural damage that we didn't let the client know, right? Even though they're buying in as is condition and all that, if we see an actual issue with structure of the property or something like that, we'll definitely let you know. Because remember, I think as a company, we are looking to create a win-win situation here. If I win and you lose, that's not a good business structure, right? We both have to win. And in my case, guys, by the way, I do trust the acquisition agents that we have in the office. I think our guys are very good, but I always double check on our properties. I will definitely let you know if there's any issue that wasn't listed there for sure, because I'm not looking just to sell you one property. I want you to do well, because if you do well, I'll do well.
Yeah.
And when I tell one of my clients, hey, buy sight unseen with confidence, I usually take a really good look at the properties. I'm also an investor myself, So I can look at a property and say, well, they're saying this rehab is going to take $30K, and I can say, no, it's going to take more like 50.
Yeah, you've done 100 of these yourself.
So, and my goal is to protect my clients, though. As I mentioned, we do a good job. We disclose everything that we know off the property, but I go even beyond that with my clients.
Yeah, well, I think that's good. It's like another point I stress. Try to work with somebody that's done some rehabs, because you can kind of hold them to another level of accountability. If I buy something and it's not what it turned out to be, like, man, you do this, you know what you're doing, like, and they'll probably never do another deal with you again.
Absolutely.
So, and capital fundings, we're over 80% as far as repeat borrowers. So when you have a new person walk through the door, you want to do that person right, and you want them to look at you like, hey, Ivan's a part of my team. Alex is a part of my team. These are vital parts of my team that are going to make me make money. It's not just me and my input that makes the money. It's actually everybody that's on the team. So you got to have the right people on the team, and that's important. So you want somebody that does what you do, that's done what you do. If they're telling you what to do, you want somebody that's done it, not somebody that's like, hey, I'm fresh out of college, I've never done it, but believe me, it's a great deal.
Alex, and you know what? I love working with new investors as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what I do with a lot of them, because I love teaching people, I also love helping people. I can even help them go to the rehab. I have contractors also that I can recommend that I know I'm not going to charge you an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
A lot of new people come into the business, and I can tell you this, guys, contractors know whether you know what you're doing or not.
Yeah.
And when they know that you don't know what you're doing,
prices change.
They're going to charge you a whole lot, because they can tell when somebody hasn't done a flip. So like I said, my goal is to help people. So I even go the extra mile to say, hey, use this person or use that person.
Yeah, that's great.
And not to help.
Yeah, we don't really refer out contractors on our side of things. But it's super nice if you're stuck in a rut and someone's like, hey, do you have an AC person? And you can make a phone call and get your AC done over the weekend, I mean, there's value in that. So that's good to know as well, too. I think you're probably one of the first people I've talked to that's offered that assistance. So that's helpful. So if you're listening and you're, newer or new to the game, that may be a direction you want to go. So. All right. Well, we've covered a lot. We've definitely got your background. When we were talking before, you told me you kind of got into real estate because your wife was in there, and she was making 3 times as much as you, and you sounded like you got a little jealous and wanted to get in on some of that action. So that I just wanted to throw that in there. I thought that was really cute because for those of you guys who don't know, Ivan and his wife, they work as a team on a lot of their own projects. So it's kind of cool to see them working together and getting deals closed and profitable and stuff like that. So, all right. Well, anything else you want to add? We've kind of covered the off-market deals, which I know you really emphasized is really, really important. 20 people working at Spectrum, that's massive. That's a lot of people working for you to find deals. I like that. Sometimes it's tough to cover a ton of ground and do a really, really good job of following up with one person or 2 people. So 20 people really helps scale this business, which is important. The market's kind of, we're just twiddling our thumbs waiting maybe for the election to get over and then start getting back to business. But anything else you want to share with these borrowers that,
Let me tell them, I'm just going to go over real quick and how this process is actually done, right? Because a lot of people, especially new people, have bought properties from the MLS. Initially, there is an inspection period and there's some other stuff going on. Our deals are very simple, right? There is a $5,000 deposit, which is non-refundable. By the way, we don't want to keep your deposit. We want to close on the deal. And I think, in that sense, telling you guys this because I think it's important, it's good to have a good lender. In this case, Alex is an excellent lender. We've used them in the past. We actually currently using him. And by the way, I also recommend Alex to my clients because to me, for us as wholesalers, it's key that when a lender gets the deal, they close on the deal. If the lender gets the deal and then at the end comes up with something crazy and now it's not closing, that is a problem. You need someone in the same way that you need a good wholesaler that is looking for you for your best interest, that wants you to make money because if you make money, they make money. You also need to get a good lender out there, and not because Alex is here, but he knows, and he works with Megan, which is an excellent lady. She's amazing. She's on top of things. She's always after what you need and all that. So I think, even if you're not working with me, guys, if you're looking for deals out there, the first thing that a wholesaler will look when you call them is, who are you working with? Because there's a lot of lenders out there that don't know what they're doing, that end up messing up the deal. And that is a problem. When somebody says, okay, CapFund, okay, yeah, I know Alex, these people are great. We've closed many deals before. I feel comfortable signing this deal with you because you have a good lender. So I wanted to say that. But then also, it's good to know this other part. As I mentioned before, the way our office works, which I think is the way most offices work out there, guys, is you sign the contract and you send that deposit. And whoever does that first gets the deal. We actually have to post that on a chat that we have in the office. And whoever posts that first gets the deal. So, and after that is pretty straightforward. We close usually between 15 to 21 days. Sometimes we can extend it a little more, but it's fairly easy. And we're just here to help.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, I don't mind people calling me, Alex, asking me questions. Like I said, I'm here to help developing a relationship with people and actually helping them to make money. That's our goal.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the kind words. The bad lenders is what got me into the lending space. So I feel your pain because a bad lender will blow everything up for the wholesaler, the buyer, the seller, and it's just not a good day. So yeah, we want to avoid that at all. That can't happen. That's actually one thing we kind of hold our hat on. We've done about 1,200 transactions and we've never, ever had to call that borrower and say, I can't close. I need another week or I need another 2 weeks, which when I was doing this, the wholesaling side, that happened frequently where the lender delayed the closing. So important to know.
And that's important because remember, you have $5,000. Sometimes it could actually be more.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. It's pressure for me because it's like, I got $10,000 of this guy's on the line. I had a deal with a friend of mine that had a $25,000 deposit the other day. And I'm like, and it was a large loan. It was 500,000 plus. So you got to make sure. And he's like, hey, the sellers are jerks. And I'm like, okay, that's the pressure. You got to make sure that money's there that day. Everything's done, funded, and there's nobody's concerned. So, all right. So would you say, phone call guy, text guy, any preference?
I like text first, right? Because I get a lot of calls, and being in the off markets, I get like probably 30 calls a day, just off market properties. So if you don't mind texting me first and saying, hey, Ivan, this is so-and-so, I'm looking to buy some deals, blah, blah, blah. Call me when you get a chance. I love that. And I'll usually call you like within an hour and talk to you and eventually meet with you. I like to meet with people in person and lower things with them and see where they're coming from and how I can actually help them in any way. And but usually text for me is better at the beginning.
Yep. All right. Well, it sounds like if you're looking for a people person, somebody to kind of create a relationship with, a relationship person, and then also somebody with a lot of experience doing flips. Not many people out there can say they've been part of 100 flips personally. That's a pretty big badge to wear. So Ivan may be somebody you guys want to reach out to. So, All right, well, let's wrap this up. I appreciate your time. I think a lot of people that are watching this are going to really appreciate what you've had to share, and will probably reach out. So if you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with your friends. It really helps us out. So thanks, Ivan Castro, for joining us. Maybe where can our listeners find you or Spectrum online? And keep in mind, we will post all your contact information below on all of the social media spots, but where can they find you online, or maybe your WhatsApp phone that they could text you at to reach out to you?
Yeah, it's 609-502-2444. Again, 609-502-2444. You can text me there, just say hi, and then we'll definitely get connected, and hopefully I can help you to make a lot of money.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you on the next episode of the Investors Lounge with CapFund.